Happy Sunday and a very good morning.
àwọn oníṣẹ́ ẹ̀tọ́ kálukú ló fi pè wọ́n orí kálukú ló gbé ọdẹ kò tó bọ̀. wọ́n máa gbọ́ o gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá kàkà ẹ̀jẹ̀ wá lóye ẹja owó pọ̀ láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ tó 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 lágbẹ́ gidi ni ẹ̀mẹ́jì wọ̀ ẹ̀jọ̀ lọ sí ibà méjì kó ẹ̀rẹ́ tó wọ́n fi sẹ́yìn wọ́n kẹ́tọ̀ sí ẹ̀rẹ́ tó fi ra wọn sẹ́yìn ọmọ adúgbò tiwa akọni tiwa akọni jagunjagun ọkùnrin ta ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ yẹn kó wọ́n máa gbọ́ ọ̀fẹ́ ìsọ̀kọ̀ àgbẹ̀ fún wọn ni ẹ̀rẹ́ tó bá ní kó òkú ní kékeré fún wọn fọwọ́ làwọn síra wọn ẹ̀sẹ̀ sọ́díkà tó máa sọ ìdúkú dà
Okay, sister mi dada, thanks so much for call lánàá. Ìyá dada Tóyìn Ọláoyè, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ìyá wa tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní underground, àwọn ìyá máa bèèrè pé ṣé Yorùbá nation ti lọ. Mo ní do or die ni àwọn ọ̀dẹ̀ ní kú sí. Gbogbo ẹni tó bá ní Yorùbá nation ní bọ́ọ̀sì ìrìn àjò ẹ̀ náà la wà dọ́sàn. Mo kíyàwó àṣẹ àti ṣe ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, kò sí tí a lè ṣerú ìrìn àjò báyìí. A need àwọn ìyá dáadáa, àwọn obìnrin tó dúró tán. Ẹ rí pé nígbà tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀, gbogbo àwọn obìnrin kan tẹ̀lé wa, àwọn mídíà kan ti jábọ́, wọ́n náwọn ṣe Yorùbá nation mọ́, bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ń complain nípa Nàìjíríà. The same thing náà ni gbogbo wa ṣe ń sọ, but àwa tá a ṣe dúró lé lórí, no retreat, no surrender. Mo kí brother mi ní gbogbo Lagos Island, mọ́ Surulere, mọ́ mainland, gbogbo campus, Yẹmí Fátókì. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá, mo kí olórí ẹbí wa Wàlátà. A máa play one or two more. Èmi fẹ́ clean the kitchen mi, because bá ṣe máa ń support ara wa nílùú òyìnbó nìyẹn. Ó lè má rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ládùúgbò tiẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà, torí ẹ lọ́mọ ọ̀dọ̀ àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́. Europe ló ń pè bíbáyìí. So I'm going to do the tidying up so that by the time tí ìyàwó mi máa fi dìde, òun náà lè wá ṣe ẹ̀tọ́ tiẹ̀ láti dáná tá máa jẹ. Mo kí gbogbo apá Peace Sunday. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń respond. A ṣe ń gba èní ní the last day 48 hours. Tí wọ́n bá wá ní, má béèrè pé owó wo ló tún gbà platform yìí tó ní integrity ni tó dúró tán. Olóyè dẹ̀ ni kí n máa kí gbogbo yín pé kí n máa kí wa, àwa là ń raise owó fún láti Koiki Media. Ẹni tó bá wá ní ẹ bá wa fi sínú First Bank account. Mo tún sọ ojú mi lélẹ̀, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá ń béèrè account olóyè ẹ wọ kọ̀pẹ́lẹ́ ọba ní Germany kẹ́lẹ́ lọ fún lówó yẹn, torí pé á jẹ́ pé ẹ tí mọ̀ pé mi náà odindi prime minister ni mí. Rishi Sunak is 43 years old. I am older than Rishi Sunak, the prime minister ìlú yìí. Mo dàgbà jù lọ, but condition lọ́ni ó jẹ́ kí kíni ló jẹ́ kí crayfish kò bend. Tó bá yẹ pé Nàìjíríà wà in the system that is working, probability wà pé ó yẹ káwa náà ti contest. Tó bá yẹ pé system tó ń ṣiṣẹ́, but ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ní ẹ fẹ́ lọ fix Nàìjíríà, a máa lọ di campaign, a máa lọ ṣe politics. You're wasting your time. So I don't want to go too much. Mo kí ẹ Dennis, I might not have the time láti máa kí gbogbo wa, but mo kí ẹ̀yin mothers wa, mo kí gbogbo àwọn medias wa náà tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ back to back. Responsibility tèmi lèmi ṣe, ìwọ náà ṣe tiẹ̀. O fẹ́ fix Nàìjíríà, dádì ẹ̀ tó bí ẹ ṣó rí Nàìjíríà fix, mọ́mí ẹ̀ tó bí ẹ ṣé wọ́n rí Nàìjíríà fix, grandma tó bí ẹ ṣó rí Nàìjíríà fix, granddad ẹ, grandmother, àwọn parent ẹ, ẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ tó jáde ní university tó náà fẹ́ fix Nàìjíríà. Bàbá Akíntóyè náà fẹ́ fix Nàìjíríà when he was a senator ní Second Republic. He tried his best. He wanted to fix Nigeria. Nigeria is dead. Tó bá dẹ̀ tí kú, we will make it to die quicker. We will not stop the campaign. It is called Yoruba Nation Movement. Níbi tá máa máa ta yín lómejí. In my kitchen, like I always say, màá show yín again. Kò sí nǹkan tó sí níbẹ̀. Àwọn sẹ̀lẹ̀ wọ́n máa ń lo àgbọn tó pọ̀, àwọn white garment ó dàgbẹ́ máa ń lo àgbọn tó pọ̀. Kò sí fruit tó sí nínú ilé wa, torí fruit ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ làwọn ọmọ máa ń jẹ. Orí mango. Tí wọn náà bá ti lè confirm fún mi pé under Nigeria you can live the basic life, that's fine. But tó bá ti lè live basic life, ọmọ jábọ́ níbẹ̀. But I know a lot of you will not listen. But we will make sure you listen. You will listen to the last man standing on this journey. Koiki gba ló máa bọ́ sí, ẹ̀yin má worry nípa yẹn. Ẹ̀yin má worry, ó máa bọ́ sí lágbára Olódùmarè. Mo kí brother mi Jaya. So let's play the anthem. Then we play one or two more, and then I will play the UNPO video of Professor Banji Akintoye. It will give me the ample time. Just I might need about 20 minutes to wash those plates. Ó lè máa bèrè pé ṣọ́kùnrin máa ń fọbọ́ ní kitchen, orí ò pé. Ọ̀tẹ̀ tí ní kí n máa bú yín gan sẹ̀. So let me take that back. Look, inú ilé mi mo wà. Bó bá wùn mí mo lè fọ toilet. Bó bá wùn mí mo lè gbálẹ̀. Inú ilé mi mo wà, okay? Iṣẹ́ tí mo lọ ń ṣe náà níta tó ń sanwó fún mi nìyẹn. Mo lọ ń fọbọ́ nígbà kan ni. I get paid for that. Every 1 hour, I get like £7. Kò tẹ̀ tó gbà yẹn bí i £5. Kò yẹ nísìn, £5 ló máa ń san fún mi. So, o lè máa wonder pé, bọ̀bọ̀ yìí máa ń fọbọ́ ní kitchen bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Ara content náà ni. Because ní Nàìjíríà, àwa Yorùbá àti disrespect àwọn ìyàwó wa nílé. Ara problem tó wà Nàìjíríà nìyẹn. Ní value kankan fún wọn mọ́. And that's why things have gone wrong. Púpọ̀ nù yín tẹ́ ẹ wà Nàìjíríà, tẹ́ ẹ ṣe big man, ẹ ṣe big woman. Europe ló ń pè bíbà. Máa wá jẹ́ kí ọ̀kan tán ẹ pé don't travel to Europe. Èmi máa ń bẹ̀ yín ni pé make sure pé o jápa dé bíbà. Kájọ máa struggle. Tó bá gbé ní bíbà for one day. Intèmi ṣe wàá ṣe jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ because wàá realize pé it is just worth fighting for. Not everybody will be able to do it, but àwa tá à ń ṣe àdúró tán. Mo kí àwọn Biafra, but èyí tó bá ń ṣe yọ́bọ̀yọ̀bọ̀ náà ẹ sọ fún mi ká gbàdánù kúrò lórí system. Mo kí prime minister wọn, government in exile, Simon Ekpa, èèyàn ti Koiki Media, alẹ̀pá bí ṣúgà ni. Èmi àti Simon Ekpa alẹ̀pá bí ṣúgà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ẹ̀yin Yorùbá tẹ jẹ́ conservative, tẹ máa ń bọ̀ àwọn Igbo, problem tí nìyẹn kò sí tó kàn mí. As long as Simon Ekpa ní ká pín Nàìjíríà, ibẹ̀ lèmi dúró lé, a máa pín ni, kólúkálukú máa lọ́nlọ́ ẹ̀. Enough is enough. Yoruba nation, no going back. Yoruba nation for life. ẹja tasele.
ọmọ ìgbàlagbà lápapọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ àdúgbò lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀sìn ọmọ Yorùbá lápapọ̀ kì í gbogbo ẹ̀mí àpò ẹ̀bá nǹkan wọn Adéyẹmọ sí Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho orúkọ ńlá kí dáhùn láyà bí ara orúkọ tó dẹrù bó lórúkọ gan-an. ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ má sùn torí pé kóra àpòlé ìmọ̀lúgbẹ́gbọ̀dọ̀ láyé tí ayélujára lẹ̀dá ń pẹ̀lá wúrà tó máa dán alànà kọjá dandan o. ọmọ ẹ̀rín ẹ má bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ̀nà ẹ̀dá kan lè ṣe wá lọ́nà mọ́ ẹjẹ́ àtìmọ̀ṣọ́ kan ká lè débi rẹ̀ ẹ̀já jọ gbárùkù ti Sunday Ìgbòho Ìgbòho ọ̀sà ọmọ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ nílùú Alágbàdo Òde ọmọ Àtàpẹ̀tẹ̀ wọnú omi ọmọ ìdílé ìwòdò Ìsọ̀yà Ìsọ̀yà òríran bàbá yín láàrin ìdí omi kò sí náà ń tán sí yín lẹ́nu ọmọ òkúta mẹ́ta òkè Ìgbòho ìkan ṣe yín ní dábọ̀dàbọ̀ ìkan ní mọ́ rọra ìkan tó kù nígbà tí wọ́n mọ̀ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ kí ló dé Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ sí ọmọ òpópó sára ìgbàgede Ìgbòho sùn wọn láláìsí bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọn ni kò ní bẹ̀rẹ̀ ó máa kó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ ẹ̀sìn òní bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀sìn bá bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho áfíkọ̀ pọ̀pọ̀ sí àmúkọ̀ yòókù kọ̀ sọ̀yà àtúmúyà rẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ ọmọ àfìṣẹ́rù wálé gbàràmùjì ọmọ onílé ọ̀la àwọn àjòjì tó ń ṣe ṣèkéṣèké kọ́ láwọn oníbomi tó sí mu wọ́n láwọn oníbomi sọ̀yà wẹ́sẹ̀ ìgbà lójúkọ̀ fún kọ́ gbogbo wọn náà sáré bomi kó sí mu wọ́n sì bomi sọ̀yà wẹ́sẹ̀ ọmọ abẹ́rẹ́ mẹ́ta òde ayé ọkọ̀ ṣẹ́ ọkọ̀ tẹ̀ ọkọ̀ tó kù ní gbogbo ayé lọ́jọ́ kiri gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá Sunday Ìgbòho orílẹ̀ láéláé torí àbá lásán lè kọjá òkúta ọ̀sẹ̀ pé fún wọn o ìmọ̀ràn lásán ní ti balùwẹ̀ kò bọ́ sí kókó dòdò láyé ń bí ó kù díẹ̀ bí kò torí ayélujára náà rí
Sunday Ìgbòho nígbà fẹ́tọ̀ gbogbo bá nílùú Èkó èmi máa dúró tì ṣé wọn náà máa dúró tì òun níbèrè mò ń bọ̀ àìtí lọ. àwọn ọmọ tí mo tó bá ń ṣe program mo ní gbogbo fóònù mi tó máa ń dá padà fún mi lọ́tọ̀ náà. ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ìjáyà ó ní Kóìkì mo bẹ̀ gbogbo ìgbà tó bá ti ń ṣe program torí platform ẹ̀ àti platform gbogbo àwa Yorùbá media wọ́n máa ń gbọ́ bọ́ lọ́dọ̀ tiẹ̀ máa bẹ̀ níṣẹ́ kan máa bá wa play léraléra just to remind people okay jẹ́ nǹkan internet mi which I'm gonna do now. While I'm preparing for that, mo kí Mr. Monday Balogun, mo kí ẹ̀yin tí wà lórí TikTok, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ti ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, mo kí àwọn ìmáàmù wa, mo kí àwọn àfáà wa, mo kí gbogbo àwọn wòlíì ńláńlá tí Ọlọ́run ọba Elédùmarè tó ń gbẹnu yín sọ̀rọ̀ láti bàbá wa ìmáàmù Ọ̀fà, mo kí Akéwùgbà Gold, mo kí Pastor Adébóyè, wọ́n ní táwọn bá máa kú ìjọ Sunday ló máa bọ́ sí, àwọn dẹ̀ máa jẹ pounded yam, Ọlọ́run níjẹ́ tí kú fún wa nísìn, ẹ pẹ́ fún wa, ẹ sìn wa dáadáa. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá nílé lóko pé a tún káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò tiwa. Ètò yìí ló ń pè ní self determination platform. O lè má bá pàdé rí ó yàtọ̀ sí àwọn other platform. Èmi náà káàkiri mo máa ń lọ ohun tẹ́ máa ń sọ lórí TikTok lórí Facebook but ẹ bá ti débì bá it's all about the self determination. We are campaigners. Àbọ̀rú àbọ̀yè mo kí àwọn imam, mo kí sẹ̀lẹ̀, mo kí gbogbo kérúbù, mo kí èṣù rẹ̀ ń ṣe sẹ́tàn. Èṣù àwa la ní èṣù. So program kan máa wáyé lẹ́kọ̀ọ́, ìkan máa wáyé ní London on the 24th. Don't let anybody deceive you but má jàjà ẹ̀sìn fìyẹn sílẹ̀ fún ọba Elédùmarè kó yanjú ẹ̀. Our Yoruba Kinjajesin. What we are asking for is we want a total independent, sovereign, independent away from Nigeria. We want to control our own territory. We want to control our own resources. Nigeria has failed. Let's listen to this to kickstart again.
The King tribe of Nigeria has been accepted as the 45th member of the Unrepresented Nations and Peoples Organization. Leader of the Yoruba World Congress, Professor Banji Akintoye, says the membership represents a very important step in the collective quest of well-meaning Yoruba people to achieve the goal of dignity and self-determination.
It is my great pleasure and pride to inform you that the Yoruba nation has been admitted to the membership of UNPO. UNPO means Unrepresented Nations and Peoples Organization, with its headquarters in The Hague. The UNPO expressed their gladness to welcome the Yoruba nation as a new member of UNPO, and they are looking forward to working with us. It is important because it is a great stride, and it represents a very important step in our collective quest to achieve the goal of dignity in the country in which we live, and also to achieve the goal of self-determination for our nation. Our Yoruba nation now has a voice on the international stage via the machinery of the UNPO, which maintains a permanent presence before the United Nations and before other international agencies like the European Union, the African Union, the United States government, and the governments of various other countries across the world.
Well, that is Professor Banji Akintoye speaking some 3 years ago. Muke Okoya Folayan, Muke Google platform. Salam alaikum, Mr. Fatai Kazim. Muke Ajani Ajala, Gbogbo Libya, Muke ni Togo, ni Cote d'Ivoire, ni Benin Republic, Aki Oloye ni Germany, Muke àwọn wọn ní Canada, Aki àwọn wọn ní Nigeria, Aki àwọn wọn ní gbogbo bí tí Ọba Elédùmarè wà. Muke ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ, Muke Mr. Easy King. Welcome to the program and let us settle down. Muke àwa lẹ́ǹkan sí Tóyìn Ọláoyè, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Muke gbogbo yín grandma Alhaji Bashiru. I haven't seen Ṣẹ́gun Ọ̀nà ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ó tó jọ́ mẹ́ta. I guess he's been busy. Muke ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Faith David. Muke gbogbo àwọn YSDM. Ìyáwá Bólúwá ti fẹ́ Muke yín. Muke gbogbo ẹ̀yin akọ́nilẹ̀ Yorùbá, gbogbo àwọn medias wa tó ń sọ̀rọ̀. I am not the one that is perfect among us, but I am your international journalist, okay? International journalist. I am not a local journalist. I can be proud of that anytime, any day. Iṣẹ́ tí mo kọ́ ni, iṣẹ́ tí mo mọ̀ pé ni. Yoruba is not yet a country, but it is a quest. And we're going to play about 22 minutes because I have to go back to watching that play. Let me again appreciate some of the donations through these names that have come through again. We love you, we appreciate you, and we say thank you so much for the clearing call. Tó bá jẹ́ pé mo wá mo ní èèyàn kan ti l'accident, ẹ ṣàánú wa, ẹ jọ̀ọ́, a máa gbé lọ sí hospital. People will donate. So what we are doing is a voluntary donation to CSI from the Koiki Media platform. It's 48 hours. By tomorrow, we move all the money to him, and we will say thank you so much to all our donors. Ìwọ tó ń béèrè account olóyè gangan, like I said, you will have to travel to Germany and give it to him personally. Mo kí Mr. Timothy Ogunrinde Olushola, thank you so much. We saw your massive big donation. Mo kí ìyàwó Mr. and Mrs. Okpa Yemi, thank you so much for your big donation. Mo kí Mommy Caroline, Aliana Nima Tinshi Soro, we appreciate you and we say thank you so much. Mo kí Mr. Natalia Samuel, kò sí kankan tó kéré, your name would also go in the record. Thank you so much. Mo kí our Folashade Johnson, shout out to you, ma. Thank you so much. Mo kí grandma ní Lagos State, ẹ ṣé gan ni gbogbo àwọn grandma náà on náwó sí nǹkan pé olóyè ni Koiki nígbà tó ti sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Àwọn grandma kan béèrè pé Koiki òun complain ní gbogbo gbà nípa mobile phone. Ṣé àdé ṣọ̀rọ̀ fóònù yìí ni mo ní ẹ má worry. media, resources media, continuity, and that is Muki Ashati Shile Yoruba, Muki Bubentendara Pomowa. Without a media, there's nothing that you can see around the world. You need media. And media is different from a doctor. Ishe media, Luman Soro. We talk. We bring things close to you. We see it. We vet it. Don't let anybody fool you. The word Nigeria was coined during the British Empire, during the colonial era. Many of you in all those platforms, you are still complaining about Nigeria, but you cannot find a solution to it. You will never find a solution. The solution now is everybody should dissolve that country and we go our separate ways. We will still be friends and families, but you don't want that, and that means many of you will still have to suffer in Nigeria. You can say whatever you want to say about us, especially the forefront burners of this movement. Tinubu Funaregon, Ibati so much see, he careless. Tinubu is not fighting for Yoruba people, he's fighting for one Nigeria. I don't believe Tinubu has what it takes to break up Nigeria, but we keep the pressure on him, and that is what the Biafra are doing, and that is what we are doing as well. Nobody should come and tell us that we don't have the right. The right is under the declaration of the 1514 resolution, literally on the 14th of December. So in the next 4 days, I'll be sticking to that resolution. I have to remind you all the time, it's called the Declaration of the Colonial, let me get it right. It's called Declaration, the 1514. It's a very powerful declaration, and many Nigerians probably don't even know what is happening, because when we say we want a total exit from Nigeria, declaration, yeah, that's it. It's called Declaration Granting. Declaration on the granting of independence to colonial countries. Don't think that you are free people. Nobody's free in Nigeria. You are still under the slave trade, the slave of the IMF, the World Bank, the European country that doesn't want us to grow. Nobody can grow in Nigeria. The unity will never, there will never be a peace in Nigeria until everybody go their separate ways. Omo Yoruba niwa akinshi Nigerians. 10:33, let's start quickly and then move straight to the next part of the conversation. So what you're about to listen to was 3 years ago. It's 21 minutes. Okay, let's allow the advert to do. I do not own the copyright to it. Even though I've said that I do not want to be using people's video, but this can be used because it's coming from the UNPO. Listen to it and learn one or two things from what Professor Banji Akintoye was saying. As at that time, we were known as the Yoruba World Media. Today, it is called Ilana Modua. Baba Akintoye remains the only leader for the self-determination. Tebanwa leader le Yoruba, Eloban Baba Debanja ti Parafashionati, the two elder people that are fighting each other, and they've deceived us for 35 years, asking for a restructured Nigeria that nobody was going to give them. Time now is to say enough to what the British created in 1914. The British Empire destroyed what we had, told us lies, even told us that Mungo Park founded River Niger. These are why we are saying we need to exit Nigeria, and it needs to be done now. Let us listen to the background of who we are as Yoruba people.
In many ways it's a new initiative. There's been a movement for the self-determination of the Yoruba people for many, many years. But just recently, this World Congress met and formed around the leadership of Professor Akintoye, and seeks to represent all of the people of Yoruba with a very diverse membership within the Yoruba people. And for us, it's just wonderful to see a movement being developed like the World Yoruba Congress under the leadership of Professor Akintoye, who is really a very well regarded and highly known person within his community. And so I'm just delighted to have you join us and to join the UNPO. So the floor is over to you, sir.
I want to start by thanking UNPO for giving me the opportunity to speak up for the Yoruba nation. Today, we, the Yoruba nation, we also call ourselves Odua nation. When in 1914 the British amalgamated the Yoruba indigenous nation with other nations to form the country called Nigeria, the Yoruba nation was the largest single nationality in the new country, and already had more than 1,000 years of formal civilization building in Black Africa. The Yoruba had started to live in towns and cities by the 9th century age. By the time that the first European explorers came to the coast of West Africa in the 15th century, Yoruba land was already a copiously urbanized country. Indeed, one of the most urbanized countries in the world, with heavily populated cities and towns at short distances from one another. In the context of this urban civilization, we Yoruba evolved advanced economic, cultural, political and religious systems. Earliest Europeans of explorers and traders along the West African coast from the late 15th century found the influence of Yoruba civilization and Yoruba diaspora trading colonies among many West African peoples, and the Yoruba language as a language of commerce among many different peoples. With the coming of Christian evangelism and Western civilization in the late 19th century, Yoruba urban civilization immediately enabled Yoruba land to benefit more than other parts of Black Africa. By the 1860s, we Yoruba were already producing a class of university graduates and educated professionals. The first newspaper in Black Africa was published in the Yoruba city of Abeokuta in 1859, and other newspapers were soon published in other Yoruba cities. For much of the rest of Black Africa, schools did not come up after 1900, by which time some Yoruba families were already producing their third generation of university graduates. At the amalgamation in 1914, the Yoruba were the only educated nation in the new country of Nigeria. From 1952 to 1962, under a limited self-government arrangement and federal constitution, which the British granted to Nigeria, the Yoruba nation proceeded to make the mostly Yoruba western region of Nigeria, the best center in Nigeria, and even in Africa, in virtually all aspects of development and modernization. But the Nigerian environment has consistently been hazardous to the Yoruba nation. From the beginning, the British colonial rulers feared the considerably educated and culturally sophisticated Yoruba, and proceeded to do everything to limit their influence in Nigeria. From the British, the tradition passed on to the non-Yoruba peoples of Nigeria that the Yoruba needed to be stopped and choked. To stop the Yoruba, unquote, became the constant purpose of Nigeria. As Nigeria became independent in 1960, the British manipulated everything to impose the
hope you're listening to that. 1959 manipulated the election. And you are now saying the rigging election.
The Yoruba leadership from the federal government. The British regarded the mostly uneducated Hausa Fulani,
did you hear that?
Particularly the Fulani, as quote, the friendly people, unquote, under whom British influence will continue to be strong in independent Nigeria. In 1962, less than 2 years into Nigeria's independence, the anti-Yoruba hostility finally produced a covert operation by the federal government of Nigeria, assisted by the British from the sideline.
Did you hear that?
to destabilize the predominantly Yoruba Western region.
Did you hear that? 1962. Let me pause that. Let me pause that bit. You see some of you that come online and start telling us you love Nigeria, you're in Nigeria. Look, I live in England, UK precisely, but I live in a part called England. Mayegun lives in Scotland, just to give you where we all live, because some of you think every part is just one body. The Scottish people hate the English people. They want to break away. As at 1962, Mr. Tony Ages, Muki, Mr. John, good morning, Mr. Kamo, the trouble in this world every day, every man has a price and they'll fill their pocket with silver. Okay, I don't understand what that message is, but I've read it. Good morning to you, Alex Mamu, Mr. Joe K, Mukibu Darapomora. In 1962, this same country were still making sure that they were working with the northern part of the Nigeria so that we would not progress as people. Let's fast forward today. 4,000 doctors don't japa. Maybe 1,000 of them are in UK. I don't know. I don't know the statistics, but I know that there will be about 500 mothers are leaving hospital as a worker, midwife. Everybody's relocating outside the country. Not everybody can leave. But what we are saying is that this country that I am able to speak to you from had a big influence in what is Nigeria during the 1914, during the 1500, during the 1700, during the slave trade. And don't tell me that you are free and you have got an independent country. The British still play a big, massive role in the influence of who become the president of Nigeria and how Nigeria is still managed. You can take that to any of your bank, see if you can get a loan from that. Let's continue.
And the federal government immediately rushed in, declared that law and order had broken down in the Western region, suspended the region's elected government, imposed a hand-picked sole administrator on the region, and imprisoned the topmost Yoruba leader. Finally, the federal government chose a faction of the disgraced Yoruba leadership as federal allies and proceeded to give them legitimacy by blatantly rigging the regional election of 1965 for them in their favor. At that point, Yoruba youths of the Western region voted, and they kept on stubbornly fighting the authorities until law and order totally collapsed in the Western region, and until the whole of Nigeria became completely destabilized. In January 1966, the Nigerian military, very displeased with the way the Western region was being handled, overthrew the government of the Federation. For 3 decades after that, until 1999, Nigeria reeled in a dark and darkening cloud under military dictatorships. All the military coups, all the military dictatorships from 1966 July until 1999 were led by military officers from northern Nigeria. This was so because the northern political elite, whom the British had manipulated into dominance over Nigeria,
I want us to keep hearing that word,
have used their
British.
control of
Babakito is an historian and is a very great man, learned man, and very, very great man. But he doesn't have the support of people like Payo Adebanjo and the rest of those, Bode George, and those that you called the current leaders of Yorubas. If any one of you, thank you so much, Mr. Olubetri, say UK is not our problem but ourselves, they play. You will wait till forever. They say that UK is not our problem. Mumu man. Many of you come here and be saying UK is not your problem. Who created Nigeria? I don't need idiot and stupidity on the platform this morning. You are not meant to be here. You can go somewhere else. We don't beg you to stay here. UK manipulated what is called Nigeria today. So when people come up and say, hey, UK is not our problem but ourselves, how can it be ourselves? We hate each other. We are not one. We can never be one. The UK created that system so that we will not be united. That is the reason why we are saying we should all go our separate ways so that we can have a better opportunity. Let's continue.
Power to ensure a dominant number of northern officers in the military ranks. Under the successive military dictatorships, Nigeria descended deeper and deeper into crookedness, insensitive governance, rampant corruption, impunity, government effort to impose a religion, religious and inter-ethnic violence, insecurity, grossly poor and incompetent management of the economy, and hopeless poverty. The military dictatorships destroyed the essence of federalism, grabbed all power and all resource control into the hands of the federal government, turned the state governments of the federation into helpless dependents on federal handouts, and thus destroyed the spirit of development and enterprise in all parts of Nigeria. Today, Nigeria is known as the #1 home of extreme poverty in the world, and there are predictions that in a few years, as much as 50% of all the most desperately poor people in the world will be Nigerians. The controllers of federal authority were consistently northern Muslims. The ambition grew among them to impose Islam upon Nigeria, a country with large numbers of Muslim, Christian, and traditional worshippers. They thereby led Nigeria into frequent Islamic fundamentalist explosion.
And let me stop that again there.
In this year,
El Rufai said, and I quote, is in the media, you can Google it, there will never be a Christian governor in Kaduna State. It is the same Kaduna that we just had the military bombing people there. Nigeria is not going to work because the British knew that we, the Yorubas, are different breeds of people. The Hausas are even different. The Hausa are good people, but they've now had the mixture of Hausa and the Fulanis. There's difference between Hausa, there's difference between Fulanis. We are not going to continue to be living in denial that there will be a one country called Nigeria in the next 6 decades, which is from the next 60 years. That country will split just like Soviet Union split in 1991. Ukraine, really, all these smaller countries that you're seeing today all break away from the Soviet Union in 90s. But again, let's go back as we continue to listen to the historian giving us the background. Iwama Yoruba to any British problem. I hope you are not in Nigeria to say that, because most of the people that live outside the country are giving you that false narrative. Hey, British is not our problem. It's all about leadership. We are not united. We don't understand each other. We can never understand each other. So why did they amalgamate us? Knowing fully well, we understand that these were people that lived with us for a very long time before Nigeria was amalgamated. It was called the Southern Protectorate and the Northern Protectorate. They should have lived it like that and let everybody flourish. So let me say this again. If we do not break away and you are living in Nigeria, prayer will not solve our problem. Our culture, our differences are different. If I decide to want to marry an Hausa woman, I will respect their culture and whatever they do. If I decide that I want to go and do business in the Igbo land or Biafra land, I will do the same thing. But the present Nigeria today is squeezing every one of us because we are not united. And from the program we did last night, we talked about colonialism. No, must we blame our people for our failures? No, we can't blame each other for that failure, because that is what, until we all understand that the British created that, we will not unite. Everybody is looking that we are not united. That is what the British created. Why did they amalgamate Igbo with Yoruba people, knowing that we are not the same? This is something that we must understand. Stop blaming the Igbo, stop blaming the Hausa, stop blaming the Yorubas. We should blame the British that knew us, that knew who we are. And this is what the background to the historian talking now. So if everybody is coming to say, no, we should not blame the British anymore, we should blame ourselves. No, we should blame the British because they knew that the Yoruba people have a different lifestyle. We have a different culture. We have a different ways of life. The Igbos have the same thing. The Hausa have the same thing. We will never be united. There will be more friction on a daily basis in that enclave called Nigeria, which is also known as a geographical expression, according to the late former Premier Awolowo. So what we are trying to do now is we want to unite. How can we unite with the people that we don't have the same ideology? And you are trying to unite, then they put up one structure, APC, political party, CPC, even Showore. Showore cannot even do anything in Nigeria. And that is why it's talking about revolution. But what we are saying is that nothing is going to happen if we do not speak out. Don't let anybody, most of them comment, most of them, they are not in Nigeria. Don't let anybody fool you. Hey, America culture, they are not in Nigeria. Most of them are outside Nigeria. And like I said, we don't tolerate nonsense here, but we respect your views. But one thing is, this platform talks about the breakup of Nigeria, nothing called Nigeria. Nigeria was created by the British Empire. And we will break that last empire. It is a do or die, and we will break it whether any one of you like it or not. It might take some time, but it's going to break.
Nigeria from the petroleum export turned out to be a curse rather than a blessing. Inevitably, the Yoruba nation was sucked into this threatening disaster. The military dictatorship seized important Yoruba assets.
Twisted Global Super Dominoes with cinnamon, sugar and melted milk chocolate.
Nothing we can do to that. They don't own it. They just allow that back to go through.
That had been created in 1959-52 era in the Western India. Most of such assets were then poorly managed or deliberately allowed to decline or even perish. Deepening poverty dictates the loss of the Yoruba nation in Nigeria. Also, Yoruba political leadership increasingly fell for most of the insensitive governance and public corruption characteristic of Nigeria. In these circumstances, the Yoruba people have progressively lost the enterprising spirit and the spirit of service to society for which their nation has been known throughout its long history. The quality of Yoruba education has been destroyed.
Okay, let me talk.
Declined and now faces the threat of.
Let me talk about that. Hey, we Yoruba people, we are the one that read too much. All the book I don't read for Nigeria, all the book that you've read, what have you used it for? What have you done with it? Yes, Yoruba people read a lot. Bokila artificial. What have we done with it? Mokiba Babatunde Olatunji. We are well read outside and inside the country, back to back. An average household at least have somebody that went to secondary school, even as it is tight in Nigeria today. But what is the value of those education? What are we bringing out? What are we coming out with? We cannot even compete with the global community as a country. The question is, don't be fooled. Whenever people say we are not united because we don't like, no, that is what the British created. The British knew from the day one when they came into the territory known as the Yoruba Kingdom, known as the Oyo Empire. They deceived our forefathers. They took us as slaves. They changed, and that is what we discussed yesterday. Let me go back to that page that we talked about, colonialization. Many of you probably need to start reading your history so that you can have a background understanding of how things and how the damage done on our life. Let me see if I can get that, what we talked about. Yeah, that's it there. Go on that website again, www.nationalgeographic.com/culture/article/colonialism. Ẹ má jẹ́ kíyàn kankan jókòó sí abroad kó máa fún ní fúbù pé we are going to be united. All those people are living a better and a quality life. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní Nàìjíríà, Don't be fooled. We can never be united. That is what Nigeria wants. Mr. Boboye Joseph, good morning, and God bless you, and God bless Yoruba Nation. God bless Biafra. God bless Arewa. God bless those that want to be free. The Scottish have lived with the UK Union since 1700. They are now asking for the total breakup away from this country called Great Britain because it is not working for them. Let me quickly, why is it saying I don't want to sign up? Once again, a very good morning to everyone and happy Sunday. What's going on here? Let's see. I just want to quickly touch on what we read yesterday because not everybody watched the program last night. So now let me quickly give you, okay, close this, please. All right. So the question is, what is colonialism? What is colonialism? Number one, according to Christopher Columbus, I'm sure most of you that have background to history will know who this man is. Set sail, orinrin àjò láti Spain in 1492. As at 1492, we had a life. We were having our own forefathers doing what they can do. There is this Oriolokun, this thing that you can see here, has been more than 1,000 years old. Do you know that one of it is currently being held by the British police? Somebody wanted to sell it in UK from Belgium for less than whatever he bought it from. It was stolen out of Yoruba land or from Nigeria, end up in Switzerland. They return it back. It was stolen in the 1980 during a problem, I think, in Jos, in one of the museums. They found it in Australia, no, in Switzerland. They returned it back to Nigeria, I think in the 90s. Somebody stole it again. It ended up in Belgium. The Belgium government sold this in town of Babawa create our forefathers. Don't know why I'm getting, okay, I think it's a bit clearer now. Our forefathers were building such a sculpture without the technology of today. So what happened? This shows that we are civilized people. The British knew that we were civilized and went ahead and changed the narratives. So quickly, according to what we read yesterday, just another summary. What is colonialism? Is a question mark. It is the subjugation of indigenous people. We are indigenous people. We are not Nigerians. There's nothing called Nigeria. Nigeria was a coin name put together by the British Empire during the era of 1914. That is why we are called Nigeria and we are known as Nigerians. All the flag that was designed is just something that somebody put together. All the national anthem, it was just somebody that wrote it. We had our own system of government prior before the colonialism that destroyed who we had, change our culture, force something that is not our own on us. And this is why we must go back. You cannot solve the problem of Nigeria if we do not break. So colonialism is defined as control by the British Empire, the British government of that time, over a dependent area known as Oyo Empire, the Yoruba Kingdom. This is what they called colonialism. It's a control, Agbarani, and they were using a big force. I've been to the Slave Museum in Liverpool. You will cry. We were not even allowed to record from there. You can take pictures, but you cannot record. Some of how we were moved from the shore of Africa into Europe, sold as slaves around the world. Our great-great-grandfathers. Don't tell me you are free. Nobody is free in Nigeria. You don't have any independent yet. The independent is when we have our own control, sovereignty, with our own constitution known as Yoruba Kingdom, Oduduwa Republic, whatever we want to call it. All our kings knows that. All the politicians knows that. But they are not going to say anything because they are part of those working for the same colonial people. Okay, Mr. Sheon. So again, colonialism is defined by what took place. They came with bomb. It was a violent era as at that time. No be joke. Many people died. People that wanted to revolt, they were killed. Mau Mau in Kenya were killed. They fought the British for 13 years. King Charles went there some few weeks back. He refused to apologize. He said he cannot be blamed for what took place during that era. So this is now saying that if he cannot take the blame, we would also pull down the last British empire called Nigeria. 3 countries refused to be colonized during that era, called in 1914. As at 1914, a large majority of the world, Ile-Aye, had been colonized by the Europeans. In 1914, the large proportion of Ile-Aye and Beleni has already been colonized by the Europeans. They were using force. It was a violent time. Mr. Boye, Baba Mekarosa, happy Sunday to you as well. 11 a.m. Koiki Media broadcast. So when you are arguing about politics in Nigeria, the real problem is the danger that the foundation was faulty. The British knew that there was no way they could put things together and make it work. And this is why we are saying enough is enough. Okoya said, brother, I am happy for the Igbo people because they didn't have Igbo Fulani like Hausa Fulani today. Even in Yoruba land today, we have been hearing of Fulani from Ilorin and some part of Yoruba land. Good morning to Mrs. Precious. 3 countries, before we go back again to that video so that I can complete the last set of the washing. 3 countries refuse to back down. They protected who they are. They protected their region. They fought hard. Maybe maybe we will not be here today talking about the unity of Nigeria. What is the unity of Nigeria? There's nothing called Nigeria. Even Jonathan said Nigeria cannot be united. Japan, Korea, Thailand are the only nations that were never colonized by the Europeans.
Extinction. To destroy Yoruba knowledge or amplified in their community, Nigeria's federal military government prohibited the teaching of English in school. Yoruba rulers have expected agriculture until farming came to have among them the image of an occupation. The image of an occupation fit only for the aged, the poor, and the illiterate. And until Yoruba land came to depend mostly on food importation. By 1962, cocoa export by Yoruba farmers were the source of funding for the Western Region Ambitious Development Program and foreign exchange source for Nigeria. By the early 1980s, Yoruba cocoa exports had dwindled almost to zero. With the economy depressed, unemployment has escalated relentlessly among educated Yorubas, forcing many to go into crime, into drug abuse, and into criminal forms, and forcing many more to flee to other countries in the world. Yoruba youths are regularly many among West African youths who in desperation attempt to reach Southern Europe through the Sahara Desert and the Mediterranean, and who frequently die in droves in the desert and in the sea. The Yoruba people are experiencing a degree of poverty, of loss of morale, of hopelessness, and of disorientation unknown in their history. In spite of their very strong cultural unity, and in spite of their unity around many other
I want to talk on that as well, quickly. Cultural belief. Why do you think the colonial destroy who we are? According to what is colonialism again? Colonialism is defined as a control by one people known as the British Empire over a dependent area known as the Hausa Kingdom, the Igbo Kingdom, the Efik Kingdom. We were all kingdom, just like British also is a kingdom, United Kingdom, or your empire. It was a kingdom. Kingdom, today that kingdom has been taken away from us. That is what the colonialism means. They remove our own structure. They put a structure that fit their own narratives, which is a business entity. Nigeria is a business entity, and it will remain so if we do not dissolve it. We can dissolve it and then still have a business entity between Yoruba Kingdom, Oduduwa Republic, Biafra Nation, Arewa Nation. Nigeria can be split to 10 countries. Barbados is less than 300,000. So don't come and tell us, what about all these smaller ethnic groups among us? They can become their own independent country, and they can work with the big ones. And if they don't want to, they can merge with whoever. Oh, don't come and tell us, hey, when Yoruba have a country, then we will come and be talking about Ijebu Kingdom later. That is all nonsense. Nigeria was forced on us by the British Empire, and we will pull it down because that is their last empire. It's going to be difficult, but we are already on that journey. So again, it occurs when one nation subjugates another by conquering its population. So when some of you are here arguing about, I'm a proud Nigerian. There's nothing called proud Nigerian. We should be proud Yoruba. Yoruba nimi. Omoluabi niwa. Muki Alaja Adeyeye. Muki Buba, Muslim Association of Nigerians in United Kingdom. Muki Alaja White. Every single one of you. Yoruba niwa. We used to be our own entity. The Oyo Empire went in a vast way. What happened is in 1884, if I'm right with that day, then the colonial, they had the Berlin Conference, and everybody took whatever they wanted to take. The British took the side that they believed was favorable for them, the Ghana, the Nigeria, because there was a lot of resources that they met. Those resources are meant to be what should be feeding us today as Yoruba people. Today, there's crude oil, the increment of the devil. It is not making any impact. They've destroyed almost everything. Ken Saro-Wiwa was killed because it was fighting against the environmental damage by Shell. Shell is a business entity. That should be a Yoruba entity, not Shell. BP was a British petroleum. The reason why they fought the Biafra was because the Biafra was going to be able to control back that region. The Biafra war was a war between the Biafrans and the United Kingdom. Nigeria was just the proxies that was used. If anything happened this time around, the world is so divided. Britain will never get the kind of support that they had in 1967. Again, 1 minute. I don't want this. I don't want this to get into my broadcast. I'm just doing my but that is a copyright sign there, and when it filter into my broadcast, YouTube might start flagging. Again, when people have been subjugated, you will lose your culture. Who subjugated us? The British or Britain. It occurs when one nation subjugates another by conquering its population, which are the Yoruba people, the Igbo people, the Hausa people, everyone that was in that region that they met, that territory. We were all living side by side. We were doing coconut with the north. We had no problem with them. But they created the proxies. All the terrorists that you're seeing today in this world are proxies created by the Western European countries. And we can go on and on that. We have our own language. Communicate. You don't go to Germany and speak English. They'll be telling you, what language is this? They don't understand it. Every operation in Germany today, up to the smallest from their airport, yeah, they would have translation in English because is a diverse, society today. You go to Turkey, you will learn how to speak Turkish. Go to Belgium, you will learn how to speak that language. Go to France, which is not too far away from me here. If I go on the Eurotunnel, you will learn how to speak French language. That is what they did by pulling that. And it goes on to say, conquering its population, exploiting. We have the vast amount of bitumen in Ondo State. What has that turned into? It has become a death trap. We cannot even use that same bitumen to build the roads that we need to be able to move our people from point A to B. It is called exploitation. Ilaje has a crude oil. It has never worked for the Ondo people, not to talk about the rest of us. The same thing goes in other regions. Every region has what they can do to survive. But the British brought everything together in an amalgamation in 1914 for a purpose, and that purpose was because they were losing money in the Northern Protectorate as at that time. Mukiawa Great Solution. So when some of you come up and try to argue, please do not argue because you don't have a clue. Mukiawa me. So Yoruba Nimi, Omoluabi Niwa, on the Yoruba nation we stand, and as I said, it's also when you are forced to remove your language. The moment you lose your language, you don't look. Speaking English in Nigeria should not be what should be speaking. Everybody should be speaking their language. And if you want to go and live in that region, you learn how to say, "Oh, hey, I'm a Nigerian, but we speak, other languages." No. If you go to Turkey, you will go and learn their language definitely. If you go to Germany, go to countries where they don't speak English, you will learn that language. Yes, the Congo Conference, 1884, Berlin Conference is also called. But today, as we continue to enlighten many of you, the British is telling you, go and prepare your PVC again in 2027. That is what Katrina Lang told a lot of you. That is what the former US ambassador told you. They've left Nigeria now, and they all play that game with their government. PVC will not solve the problem in Nigeria. We will come on the round table and we will discuss it. So we are almost finishing the last part of this, because I got to hand over the kitchen back to the next, cooking, and that means I have just half an hour to do that. Once again, conquering its population, exploiting it. I have evidence of gold being moved out of Osun State. Evidence, serious evidence. As you get to the airport, with how they were weighing it, the airline and the country is going to. Many Yoruba people, many Nigerians will travel to Dubai, Elomara gold, when we should be the one producing the gold in Osun State. Kini Dubai, they have nothing. Don't come and tell me it's about leadership. There will always be leadership problem in a country that do not understand each other. Learn can say, often while forcing his own language and cultural values upon his people, what the British did was they forced their own language on us. We must all learn how to speak English by fire, by force. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Yoruba no ni alphabetical tiwa no tan low. China turn low. If you go to China, you will read in Chinese. You will learn in Chinese. You will learn their language from the alphabet. But the reason why I'm speaking this English is because I am well read. I went from the nursery up to today. I am well read. That is why I can read. And some of the reason why we were able to learn faster is because after they forced their language on us, we have no other option than to start learning A to Z. A to Z, come and learn alphabet Yoruba from this nursery, from the pre-nursery, up to secondary school, up to university. The moment you learn something from primary school, from nursery, you get the grasp. Why do you think that people go to another country and they start from the alphabet? Because that is the first thing you need to learn. You need to start then joining the words. Because A is for apple. Okay, how do I join it together? You want to now spell, you want to spell culture. Okay, what's the point? C-U-L-T-U-R-E. It should be in Yoruba, not in English. It should never have been in English, but it is part of what they did. First, destroy their language. Don't allow them to learn their language anymore. Some of us now cannot even write full-fledged Yoruba anymore, but I can sit now and write a 10,000 note in English. That is not my language. That is the plan. That was the game. That is what is called colonialism. Force another language on you, remove your own language. The Hausa should be able to write in their own language. The Igbos and the rest of those match together called the indigenous people. This is why we are saying that there is a problem, and that problem is the foundation. But some of you is coming about, oh, we need to unite first. How do you want to unite with people who don't understand your language? We should never have been using A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. I don't even know the Yoruba one because I was not able to follow it up in the secondary school, as I dropped it quickly because I thought Yoruba was not meant to be a language. I hate it so much. But that is something that we should have been proud of, but because the English people took away that from us, And then the same English is telling me that to become a British citizen, I need to go and study another English test. That even is a disrespect to many Nigerians. Maybe some of you don't know that. To qualify to become a student in this country, you would have to be told to go and do, ITF or some of these, their English nonsense course. That is what they call colonialism. This is what we are trying to pull down. And if you don't pull it down, Africa will never grow. Yoruba people will never grow. We must all come together. Trying to fix Nigeria in one block, you will all die inside it. I pray not. So, again, by 1914, which is just less than 108 years ago, most of the world have been already colonized by the same Europeans that are now telling us they are over more than us. Rishi Sunak is 43 years old. I am older than him. If Nigeria was even a great country, I should have also been a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but you will never be. That is why you will never vote for Sowore. You are telling Sowore to go and start from because you like Akpabio. You prefer Akpabio, the criminal, as against Sowore. You prefer Dino than Sowore. That is why some of you say Sowore should go and start from the basic because we don't know him. He needs to go and start as a basic so that we can love him and then we can push him up. At least Fela Durotoye got a contract or a job with this administration.
Yoruba almost constantly look disrespected and conflict prone. Largest in population in Nigeria and in Africa. The most educated people in Nigeria and a nation with a very large percentage of in most countries of the world. The Yoruba do often appear like a small and impotent group in Nigeria. The Nigerian experience now confronts the Yoruba with the probability of a devastating revolt among the huge masses of their educated but unemployed and neglected youth. Ultimately, the worst degradation suffered by the Yoruba nation in Nigeria is that since 2015, heavily armed Fulani herdsmen and militias from northwestern Nigeria have been coming to Yoruba land, rampaging, destroying farms and villages, killing rural folk, threatening to conquer the Yoruba nation, to seize land all over Yoruba land, even to banish the Yoruba nation from their homeland, and to bring food and imports from other countries of West Africa to seize and possess land in Yoruba land. Many Yoruba people have been forced to abandon farming altogether, and the rampages are putting unbelievable pressure on the already weakened Yoruba economy in general. Even the large Yoruba cities have come under these pressures as millions of uneducated and unskilled youths are being deliberately encouraged and assisted by some in the northern elite to migrate to the Yoruba southwest, where they are building up into a devastating burden on Yoruba society and economy. Countless Yoruba patriots and civil organizations and the patriots and organizations of most other Nigerian people have bravely agitated for decades for a return to a truly federal system. For the people who control the central government have stubbornly employed the central government's power to prevent such restructuring. The horrific conditions of Nigeria are intensifying abominably. Human blood is flowing increasingly across the face of Nigeria. The United Nations and other international agencies and countless informed Nigerians are loudly predicting Nigeria's imminent descent into famine and starvation. insupportable weight of foreign debt, total economic collapse, and even an apocalyptic implosion, which could spew ruin and human suffering over most of West Africa. Most of Yoruba people have now given up on the agitation for restructuring and have moved to the position that the Nigerian situation to be sorted out by peaceful and friendly negotiations, which will enable the Yoruba nation as well as other nations that so choose to retrieve their self-determination and to pursue in their own way their political, economic, and cultural stabilization, progress, and prosperity. The Yoruba World Congress, which I have the honor to lead, and which consists of thousands of Yoruba men and women at home in Nigeria, and in the Yoruba diaspora in most countries of the world, has stepped boldly forward to motivate the Yoruba people to defend their homeland.
And that is how far we can go, because I need to hand over my kitchen to my family. Thank you so much, Baba, my grandfather, Boye. Wani Koiki Olayomi is in fact very factual. God bless Olayomi Koiki Omojebu. Yoruba Nation is the great submission and the true story and history. What we are doing this month is the way Mukinyi, Mr. Tony Ages, Sheun Lawa, Mukinyi Buboyin Patapata. This week, Triple DRS all the way in Woolwich, Mukinyi Buboyin Lenkonsi, Milton Keynes, Innovate, Muki Babawa Atiyawa. This month, it's all about refresher, reminder of what we have been talking about, as I pray that this month will be fruitful for us. How it's going to be fruitful for you, I don't know. But one thing is, Nigeria is really, really dragging on. Somebody's asking, what is the flag on the wall? It's just a flag. It's a temporary flag that we call the Yoruba Nation flag. So, government in exile for the Biafra, there's nothing wrong in it. It is right of the Biafran, just as it's the right of every one of us. We might not end up calling it Yoruba Nation. Eventually, when we get our country, we can call it Oduduwa Republic. That will be decided by all Yorubas. But don't ever think that your politician ever want you to be free. Your politicians are part of the corrupt system that is holding us back. And they're aware of that. They know that very well. And it is time we say enough is enough. So I'll be back again later on. Remember, we are still taking the donation to support Babawa Oloyegbowo. Okoya went on to say the last top pickup. Language and religion are the method those bastard Britain used to conquer Yoruba land. And on that note, Mokibuwa, Mr. Perry, a very good afternoon. And Nigeria, you're 1 hour ahead of us. Alan Conde say, our enemy is Britain. They hate us. If we Yoruba want to see our destiny, we have to understand that Britain hates us and they don't like us. Babatunde Babawani, sorry, I omitted which comes before. Okay, alphabet were A, B, D, E, E, F, G, B, H, K. I don't know it very well, but please bear with me. Pat Ugo said it is the same here in Sweden. If you don't have the language, no job for you. Did you hear that? And help me say shout out to your beautiful wife. I think I can say in that picture, or maybe not a girlfriend. You know, enjoy Sweden. We will be touring out very soon. Alan Conde went on to say, Britain Kingdom are real evil. First thing they do is take our land, then force us to speak stupid language. Thank you so much, Pat Ugo. We love all the Biafrans. We love freedom fighter. Mas B, I just cited my brother. Shout out to you. Bamidele Mohammed, Olagbegi Mukinyi, Babawa Amos. Koiki, we greet you from Yoruba Nation land. Thanks for the dedication, your platform for this struggle. Our platform has been attacked with the 500,000 followers on Facebook. They will never allow such message to travel every day. It will break up Nigeria faster than I want. So Facebook has toned down my, they don't allow my broadcast to travel. They don't recommend it. I care less. Anybody will hear, go hear. But one thing we go let everybody hear is this: the government again. Life is going to be very difficult, and I hope it will be easy, but things are getting very, very difficult. Mr. Oseni Nure Demuki, and across the globe, I say shout out to every one of you. If I didn't mention your name, Cap Fabric, thank you so much. Please bear with me. Sometimes we do meet some of you. If you're new to the platform, well, maybe you can just tell somebody that this guy is talking nonsense, but maybe we'll go here around. Maybe we can learn one or two things. You will not fix Nigeria. Nigeria cannot be fixed. I'll be back again later on this afternoon when we're going to take it from the next step as well. Happy Sunday. I pray for all the churches. I pray for all the mosques. But what we need Oh, happy Sunday for brother from London. Thank you so much. And if you're new in this country, I beg you, do as they say when you get to Rome. This is not Nigeria. This is called United Kingdom. Sometimes you might not see close friends like you see them in Nigeria back to back. And I'm not joking. There's one of my brother. We've not seen each other for the last 3 years. We live together in this country. This is what UK is all about. So I don't think that when you come here, you go to see people as they see them from Nigeria. You won't. But I got to go now so that my children can have their breakfast. Thank you so much. Oloye Igboho, we love you. We love you. We love you. We love you, Baba Kitoye. We love you, Baba Ayiloge. We love Bashegun. We love Dr. Kebe Orukosi. We love the Yoruba World Media, the home-based media. We appreciate every single one of us. I don't have problem with APC and PDP, but they are all coin of the same. You can also remember that you can shop on the Avon. If you click on that link, you will be helping me to make some bit of revenue. I mean, I don't want to make money as well. At least it's better to be legit. Don't commit crime. I've seen another video from somewhere in Southeast, ritualist. They are there in Nigeria. They're there in Yoruba land. Girls, be very, very careful this Christmas. And all this, like, when we want to go to Nigeria, you want to go to sleep with all these young girls. The one way you know if you do for abroad. You know you're pedophile. That is why some of them don't want Nigeria to break. So when they arrive, you could be their boy. There's nothing wrong in that. But in reality, if Nigeria was working, nobody should be boy for anybody. Maybe another country should be boy for us. Go to Dubai and see many people from Asian countries, especially, they even prefer them than Nigerians in Dubai. Dubai for 2 years, they don't renew their paper. God help those of you living in those countries. Like I said, donation for Igboho is voluntary. Don't ask me for his own personal account. If you do, you might as well just call him. This is Koiki Media raising the money for Dr. Oloye Igboho, and we will do that at interval. Thank you so much. God bless Yoruba land. God bless Biafra. God bless Ambazonia. God bless you, as you also say, God bless me. Bye for now. Happy Sunday. Look out. And to all my team back home, Koiki Media, shout out to you all. Happy Sunday. Bye for now.